Hi, my name is Sue Booth, and it's my pleasure today to take you through my journey really from having had a heart attack in 2017 to becoming someone who's now got abundant health. And I'm living in the UK, as you can see, and this was a very sad state that you can see on the left-hand side, the left-hand picture. That was me on December the 22nd. I had my heart attack on the 21st. I had stents fitted on the 22nd in the middle of the night as an emergency. And for me, that was a big wake-up call and a big shock. I've been someone who's always followed a holistic lifestyle for many, many years. And so for me, it was the biggest shock for me to find out that all the goodness that I'd been putting into my system and all the good foods that I'd had, great nutrition, had actually not been enough protection to stop me having a heart attack. Now, there are lots of factors, obviously, including in there. And I actually had one stent because of a blockage in my left main LAD. So that was the reason I had the stents. But I also had 2 extra stents. The surgeon said to me, "You've got very, very small arteries, narrow arteries." So he said, "I'm going to put 2 more in, just purely as preventative. There's no blockage throughout the rest of your system, but it's just this one that is blocked in your main artery." So big wake-up call for me. And I think anyone who's followed a holistic health, lifestyle has, they always call into question if they're doing the right thing and making sure that they're, healthy and fit. Now, I followed a healthy organic diet for 30 odd years. I have never been on any medication until 2017 at all. I've had no antibiotics, no penicillin, nothing. I also have a robust immune system. I don't catch colds. I don't go down. I haven't had any childhood diseases. So I'm kind of one of those weird people who just constantly feel okay. I feel great. So as I say, big shock to me. Big shock. Why did this happen to me? And I really started researching afterwards. And then the reason I started researching is that I was discharged from hospital on December the 24th, so Christmas Eve, with a massive bag of drugs. And I said, what are those for? And he said, "Well, those are your drugs." And I said, "Well, I don't really do drugs. And what can I do alternative?" And he said, "Forget it. You're on drugs now. You'll be on them for the rest of your life." And I knew that I wasn't going to be on them for the rest of my life because that's me. I've always been in the health and nutrition arena for the past 30 odd years. So I've always looked at finding the natural alternative to having a prescribed drug. So here is me literally a couple of weeks ago. I've had my hair done, as you can see. It's in lockdown hair again. You can see that's a couple of weeks ago. And I'm very healthy indeed. And I'm no longer on any of my drugs. So I'm just going to take you through that journey of why I researched so, diligently to find out a way that I could improve my health. We know that we all want to stay, fit and be healthy. And that's the whole, ethos of wanting to, kind of get old gracefully, if you like, and to get old, but be still healthy and fit. And that was my aim. As I say, I'm 66 now. So at 63, I had my heart attack and I was never ill. I just felt uncomfortable in my chest. So it was no pain, but it was just uncomfortable. So for me, big wake-up call, as I said, started researching dramatically once I'd had my heart attack and I was on my recuperation. I had 2 months. I wasn't allowed to fly back to Spain, where I was then living at that particular time, because they weren't happy about me flying with them having had stents. But I said, okay, well, I'll spend the time in the UK and do my research. Asked loads of questions of many alternative practitioners. And the one thing that kept on coming up was saying that, what about your omega-3 levels. Are you taking enough omega-3? And I said, well, I've been on an omega-3 product for 30 years plus. And I said, an expensive one. So I imagined that I was doing exactly the right thing for my body, because I knew how important omega-3 was within our cellular health. And obviously I was not as well read up as I thought. We know that a lot of health problems are related to inflammation. And that was one of the things that was causing my problem, inflammation around my heart, and obviously my blocked artery as well. But it's if you think about all the inflammation within your system, that's related to so many different illnesses. You know, with rheumatism, arthritis, I've got osteoarthritis in my knee, but it's, you know, kind of all those things means that those cells are inflamed around that area. So every single organ in your body needs to have a good level of omega-3 around it, you know, kind of supporting it to make sure that it's actually functioning properly. We do have to ask why we're having so many issues. And, you know, good old Hippocrates here. And for all of you alternative practitioners and people who are, you know, are concerned about your health, this is one of his fantastic sayings: let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. But we've kind of steered away from that. We know in those times that, you know, medicines were very much more herbal, and people would find different concoctions of herbs and spices that would do the same job as our drugs do now. And in fact, some of them are still used now to this day. But if you look back at where we used to eat food from Mother Nature, so this is, you know, unprepared, so not processed in any way, shape or form. This is as it is. Pick the beans, fish, you know, farm the fish, or, you know, fish for your fish. That sounds good. But we also worked on the fields a lot more in the kind of 1850s. And our foods would be full of vitamins. We'd probably eat twice as much, if not more, food to actually supplement our health, because we were working so hard on the fields and within the environment. So that is one real thing that we kind of need to kind of realize, that they ate so much more than we do now. And yet their food was full of vitamins, all the correct phytonutrients and micronutrients, the beta glucans from all the oats, etc., healthy fats, and a good balance of that omega-6-3 balance. And what we now tend to eat, and this is not all, everyone, please don't think that. I don't eat processed foods. I steer away from them completely. But there are an awful lot more man-made foods around now. And those have got less nutrition density. They're high in sugars and also salt, which is not good for your heart. Many empty calories, as we know, so people are getting bigger. We're finding lack of fibers, low in fibers, less healthy fats, more unhealthy fats, but also that creates that imbalance of omega-6 and 3. If we go back to the history, if you like, of omega-6s and 3s, and, you know, as I said before, you know, kind of we're all born with a 1-to-1 ratio. That's where we are when we're born, 1-to-1. So 1 of 6 and 1 of 3. As we start eating foods, we're going to increase that omega-6s, because that's how it happens. And we do need omega-6s in our system. Don't think we don't, but we need to have them in the correct ratio with the omega-3 to make it work and balance properly. So as I say, 1850s, we were working the land an awful lot more, eating a lot more food, but it would be completely fresh, natural food, no processed foods whatsoever. And that kind of went on, and that would have probably given us the perfect scenario of the ratio. Science recommends we should be around about 3-to-1 or better. And I think the World Health Organization says 4-to-1. So it's 3-to-1 or thereabouts to get your body functioning in the best way it can. We got to around about 1960, and all of a sudden that started jumping up. So that kind of jumped up to 4-to-1. Now, I was born in the 50s, so 54. And so for me, I remember the first processed foods coming out, and packet foods, dried foods that were dehydrated. And it was a way of making sure that we could store things better and probably less expensive than buying something fresh. And yes, our family tried it, like all families, I'm sure. But that's when the real starting point happened. And now we are in Europe, one of the unhealthiest in my view, but also we have increased our ratio of 6 to 3 of around about 15 to 1. Now, 15 to 1s mean we've got an awful lot more inflammatory markers within our system. And that's due to the fact, probably, that we eat an awful lot more processed foods. And if you think back to it, Mum used to stay at home looking after the house and the family and used to cook from scratch every day. Nowadays, both parents work, maybe sometimes have 2 jobs each. And so that becomes more challenging to provide that home cooked meal. And that's when they'll, opt for the processed meal or a takeaway or a processed dinner, microwave dinner. I don't have a microwave. I won't have one in the house because I feel it blasts your food completely and ruins it. But it's not good. It's killing any nutrition within there. So all these things are part and parcel. So these have increased, as I say, over every 10 decades every decade to 15 to 1. So now 25 to 1 is going to be like the next decade. That's already happening in the UK in some people who have a very processed diet. So in conclusion, I found out that many of the, we lack key nutrients within our system, but we've also got this imbalance. And all those things that you can see on that slide, one of the main ones for me was reduced heart function. My gosh, my heart function must have been so compromised. And, kind of your skin starts to lose elasticity and organs don't function as well as they should do. I think the most obvious one for most people to recognize is maybe joints aching. So rheumatism arthritis, just like a general aching knees. And when that happens, this is what happens to our cells. If we've got out of balance, cells have reduced function. And by having a reduced function, what we're finding is that each of our cells, and we've got hundreds of trillions of cells in our body, but each of them is surrounded by a membrane, and this membrane should be soft and permeable. But when there are too many omega-6s in there, then it actually makes that a rigid casing around each of the cells. So is it any wonder that there's problems getting nutrients into the cell and actually getting the waste products out? Our cells need to be able to process what's in there and then excrete out what they don't need. So we need to have our ratio between 3 to 1 balance to make sure that our cell membranes are in a healthy state. And so this is normal healthy cell on the right hand side. So you can see here on the right that they're soft, they're flexible membrane. So that's going to allow nutrients into the cell. It's going to allow it to process properly, and then it's also going to excrete out as well what it doesn't need. And that's going to be a healthy cell. So despite the fact that I followed an organic diet, I'm not vegetarian. I do eat meat and chicken and a lot of fish, but I was not getting my nutrients into my cells because my ratio was way out of balance. It was like a little hard shell around my cells. So however good my diet was, it wasn't benefiting. And the fact that I took an omega-3 oil as well didn't work for me. So this omega-6-3 balance, where are you? Where are you? Are you the tip of the iceberg where we should be? Or are you underneath the water where all the danger is? As I say, the average for the UK and around the European community is around about 15 to 1. But we're finding that other countries, India, Australia, they're much, much higher. South Africa is something like 25 to 1. Australia is around about 20 to 1. But India, now that's interesting. They eat an awful lot of sweet foods out there and a lot of fats within their diet, but they also eat a lot of carbohydrates too. And theirs is kind of 35 up to, we've had one person come back with a ratio of 140 to 1. and obviously is in a very inflamed state. We're having less omega-3s within our diets, inadequate polyphenols, and polyphenols are our antioxidants. They're the antioxidants in our diet that actually help with the free radical damage that we have. But also we've got low levels of vitamin D. Sun's shining today at the moment, but it's in the northern hemisphere we get less sunlight in the winter, and also that impacts on our health. And especially what's going on at the moment, we need to make sure that we are as fit as we possibly can to get over what's going on around the world at the moment with the pandemic. We have a test that you can take. It's a really simple test. It's a blood spot test. Just drip two spots of blood onto that little card. You send it off to an independent, now it's not our company, it's an independent laboratory in Norway, which are the leading blood spot testers in the world. And we've tested over 552,000 people. The balance test has been done. So people, we have the largest ratio of 6-3 results that they've tested, and Vitas Labs are completely independent from us. So this is them here. So they're attributed to lots of different, very, very well-respected kind of universities, hospitals, etc. So they're very highly respected within their industry. You actually get your test results. You can actually get them on your phone. So it's just literally gives you 11 fatty acid profile, and it will also give you all of the most important things, your membrane fluidity. That's how soft your membrane is around your cells. And it will give you lots of other information as well. My personal test was 14.4 to 1. So I was horrified as someone who'd been taking an omega-3 supplement for so long. You can also track your progress and also how you're improving. And we work on a basis of 120 days. And that's quite, kind of important because our blood changes every 120 days, whether we do something about it or not. So it's making sure that it's the best improvements possible. And our test results that we've done, these independent test results, show that around the world, 97% of them on average are out of balance. Now, however many of you are out there, we all try to be eating healthily and looking after our health, but we're obviously really struggling with this because of the way this imbalance is within our system. Only 5% of people around Europe have got that 3-to-1 ratio. Excuse me. And 20%, and I thought that I would probably be in this band, would have a balance of around about 7-to-1 as someone who'd been taking an omega-3 supplement for so many years. But I wasn't. I was in that 75%, the danger zone, because I was nearly 14.4 to 1. So that's really not very good for me. Very inflammatory within my system, my body, and what an impact it had on me. So what can we do about it? We've gathered a scientific advisory board, which is headed by Dr. Paul Clayton. He's very well known in the alternative health market. He's a researcher. He's kind of termed the pharmaconutrition. He's really advises so many different people, including governments, on how foods impact on people's health and how they can improve it. And he's gathered other people around who can improve, his knowledge as well. Dr. Angela Rizzo, for instance, excuse me, Dr. Angela Rizzo is an expert in biochemistry and lipids, and she's done a huge amount of research on autism, ADHD, and how that improves when using our formulation of balance oil. So we have a product that actually I found this product and I'm just so grateful for being able to have access to it. It brings you back into balance within 120 days. Now that is astonishing to such a short amount of time, but we know that the blood changes every 120 days. And so having that ratio is going to improve your whole system. Now this is the product that we have that actually does that for you. It's really unique. It is not just an omega-3 oil. Please don't consider that. It's not just another supplement. It is a blend of oils that balance. So we've got polyphenols, and those come from unripe olives. We've got the omega fish oils from wild fish. We've also got vitamin D3, and D3 is very important to make sure that it stays fresh and potent within the system. We've also got vitamin E as well, the tocopherols. It's dosaged by weight, so you need to take it in relation to the weight you are in kilos. So there's no oxidation in the product. So it's as fresh on the last mouthful to the very first one. This we've got in 4 different flavors as well, which is superb. We also have a water-soluble product. For those people who don't like the either oily texture or this, both my grandchildren take this one because it's just so much easier to dissolve, dilute it in a juice or a smoothie for them, which they're very acceptable of. It has same ingredients in, but it's just got an additional thing called Aquacell, which is a patented product as well. So it actually dissolves within water. We also have a vegan product. So for all you vegans out there, and I know it's a growing movement to have a vegan plant-based diet, but it's also, we're finding that the people who we test, and I've tested personally, have been massively out of balance. And the reason being is they just physically can't eat enough omega-3s within their nuts and seeds, avocados, to be able to rebalance their system. So this is a guaranteed 100% patented vegan product, absolutely superb, does exactly the same job in the same amount of time. So very, very useful for those people. It's made with the highest quality and care. We're certified by all these different things. We're keto friendly for those people following keto diets. I know it's very popular at the moment. Vegan Society, halal. So we're trying to appeal to absolutely everyone. It's even fantastic for sports people as well. We're trusted by the Informed Sport and Informed Choice, and so that's really important to know that they're not taking any unwanted supplements that actually would deter them from being in the sports industry, in the sports arena. So why is it so potent? Well, we know that there are lots of different omega-3s out there, and omega-3 is the biggest supplement for everyone. We're now finding a lot of people are taking krill oil because they know that there's some benefits with krill, especially with arthritis and things like that. But krill oil only stays viable within your system for 5 hours. It takes 24 hours for the oil to get to your cellular level. So that one's we've crossed that one off the list. That doesn't stay viable long enough. A concentrated omega-3 will last 9 hours within your system before starting to go rancid. And 13 hours for cod liver oil. Again, not enough time to get in. So we're going to find that it's not reaching where it needs to reach. Our product is guaranteed to stay viable for 35 hours. So it allows that time to go through all those different parts of your system, your body, to actually reach those areas that you need. I'm really, I'm so thrilled about finding this product. The difference for me within 120 days, so my balance, as I said before, was 14.4 to 1, 2.4 to 1. So I'm well in balance. And I'm absolutely thrilled because after 90 days, I actually started reducing my drug regime of 7 different drugs in consultation with the doctor who formulated the products. And I was able to come off those on my 4th month. So when I got to my 120 days and got my results back at 2 to 4, I had actually stopped taking my medication. And I've been now medication free for 15 months. And I feel so much better. It's suitable for everyone, from pregnancy to tiny little tots as we go through life. So from cradle to grave, it's something that is actually very beneficial for everybody on all aspects. we've got lots of different health claims that we can actually allowed to say about our product. So, for me, the most important thing was making sure that my heart function was working properly, and also my immune system. My immune system is pretty good anyway, as I said, but especially with what's going on around at the moment, I wanted to ensure that I was getting the best possible nutrition and support that I could to improve my health. We know that that's really the first part of the first part of actually getting that omega-6 in balance is a good step to feeling good, staying healthy, and being healthy. I would love to help you get started on your journey for a more balanced life free of inflammation, if that's you. It's just fantastic. Now you can see the details here. I've got a premier offer, which is there, which is on the bit.ly link. My telephone number, if anyone wants to reach out to me. I'm on WhatsApp as well. So wherever you are in the world, as long as you've got WhatsApp, we can speak for free. keyforhealth1@gmail.com is my email, and my website is www.keyforhealth.com. Thank you so much for your time and your attention, and I've thoroughly enjoyed sharing with you my journey from ill health to abundant health. Thank you.